Hello, Oracles. We've got mass production plans coming for the Cybertruck. We knew this. We are getting a breakout in the stock today. We've got Toyota coming in with their earnings missing by 25%. Lots of news to go over today, so let's get right into it. So first thing, we're going to jump right into the charts here, and we are going to discuss the fact that we have now confirmed this breakout. We were green today. We outperformed the market. We were only up about 0.12%, not really anything big of a gain on the day. We had a nice start to the day. We hit 237 as a high, ended up kind of trailing off as the day went on, but we ended up finishing outside of here. I wanted to have us close above 230. Even above 233 would have been nice. The 233 level right here is that line of support and resistance that we've got. So I would like to break through that and close above it, but we have now officially broken through this trend. We could always fall back down. Don't forget, tomorrow we have the FOMC meeting finishing. We are going to have the Fed raising rates. We don't know if it's going to be a 50 basis point hike or a 75 basis point hike. However, we are looking at the rates going up, which if the 75 basis point hike is already priced into the market right now, and we get that, we may go green. If we get a 50 basis point hike, we may go even more green. We've got President Biden coming out saying that he supports the policy shift when it comes to the Fed. So part of me is wondering if maybe they've had a discussion and the president and the cabinet have coerced the Fed into going with a 50 basis point hike instead of a 75 basis point hike, strictly because we've got elections coming up next week. And President Biden, knowing that the Democrats are kind of sliding right now in the polls, probably coming out and saying, hey, let's get the market happy again. Let's make everybody happy over the next week as we head into voting time, and maybe we can get some votes for ourselves. That's just my tinfoil hat theory. You guys can let me know if you have that same theory yourself. But if we get a 50 basis point hike tomorrow, I'm almost wondering if part of that has to do with it. So we'll see what happens. And again, if we get a 50 basis point hike, I can see the market doing extremely well and maybe running up and continuing this path upward with the stock price. And again, coming back to the stock price here, if we have broken out and we get that 50 basis point hike, or if a 75 basis point hike was priced in, that could help continue lead us up. Now, again, as we've been talking about this head and shoulders pattern, here we are right at this level. So the next level would be right around here that we would push up to continue coming up higher after we've broken this. So then we would fill this gap up here in about a week or two. So again, we will just kind of track this trend. We've been trending in this direction to be able to push up and continue this inverse head and shoulders pattern, just following it. But again, tomorrow's FOMC meeting and interest rate hike is going to really tell us whether we're going to be going up or down. So you guys can let me know in the comments below which way you think we're going to go. And next, we'll jump right into the production of the Cybertruck. This is what I'm extremely excited about. I know many of you are very excited about it as well. So we've got Reuters coming out. Now, I usually take everything that Reuters has to say with a grain of salt because from what I have seen, sometimes Reuters is very bullish, sometimes Reuters is not bullish, and they spread FUD. I almost wonder if they're kind of playing that game that a lot of people talk about when it comes to hedge funds, and they're just putting out information depending on which way they want to swing the stock. I don't know that for sure, but that's just kind of how I take it. But either way, they are getting information out here saying that we are looking at the Cybertruck mass production at end of 2023. We know that Elon at the Q2 earnings call had mentioned that they are looking to be doing volume production of the Cybertruck by summer of next year. So that is volume production. And from what I had in some discussions, looks like mass production and volume production are going to be the same word. It's going to be synonymous with each other. So we're looking at mass production coming for this be the end of 2023. So this is what Reuters is saying. I don't know. Of course, we still have to play this all out. I'm still waiting for the order page to come up for the Cybertruck. Elon has said that they are exponentially ramping up the 4680 battery. That's one of the questions that they have in here, which is, are they going to be using the 4680 battery, or are they going to have to retrofit it for the 2170? Well, if they're going to be exponentially ramping the 4680 batteries, then they should be able to use the 4680s. I can't fathom them possibly putting the 2170s in it. If they're using the 4680s for the Model Ys right now, for the structural packs, if they were going to do anything, I would say that they would probably pull the 4680s from the Model Ys, use those in the Cybertruck instead, and just keep on pumping out the 2170s and the Model Ys until they get the 4680s ramped higher. So I can't fathom that they're going to be using the 2170s in the Cybertruck, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. So looks like we will be getting the mass production of this by the end of next year. So they did say that if it does play out the way that they are seeing it, we won't see a full quarter of revenue for the Cybertruck until 2024. Again, I'm not as concerned about that. For me, the important information that we're getting out of this is the fact that we are going to be seeing the Cybertruck coming in mass production by the end of next year. That is exciting for me. So we'll see what numbers look like. We're going to see what the order page looks like. We'll see what the prices actually look like, hopefully by the end of this year. If not, I have no doubt we'll see them by Q1. Maybe on the Q1 earnings call, they'll announce and say, hey, ordering page is going to be coming up. I don't know if they're going to wait that long, because if they are going to be starting production in Q2, even if it's the small production, they're going to want people's orders up to know what they're going to be facing for all of this. So again, we'll get information on that in the next few months. And then continuing on with production, we've got Karov, Tesla Karov. If you guys do not follow him over on Twitter, I highly recommend it. And these are his numbers that he is showing for this year. So finishing up Q4, we are looking at 486,000 vehicles getting produced. So we're looking at the semi of 30, which is probably close to what I'm looking at as well. No Cybertruck, of course, but we'll get into that in a minute. So looking at 486 and then 458,780 when it comes to deliveries. So these are his numbers here, and his numbers are slightly higher than mine. My numbers are coming in at 483,344 production for Q4 at the moment. So we break ours down slightly differently. I actually really like the way he lays his out. It's very well done. So Krav, thank you for what you do, because it's great work and I appreciate it. And then he goes through and he also breaks down by daily. And for me, mine are all broken down on my spreadsheet. He breaks it all out. Again, he does a great job. So he's got Fremont weekly, daily for all of the factories. And so then looking at the Cybertruck that he has, looks like we are looking at Q2 of 2023. He's got it starting here. So, looks like a third month of the second quarter, which is about when I think they're going to start production as well. So very small production for that, 265 total coming in. And then looking at, really starting to ramp up. So 4,000 for Q3 of next year. And then Q4, we're looking at another 10,000. So you guys can let us know in the comments below what you think we are going to see for production for Cybertruck next year. What do you think volume production is going to look like when we get to Q4? Do you think it's going to be 10,000? Do you think it's going to be more? Do you think it's going to be less? Personally, I'm hoping it's going to be more, just because of the fact that I have mine on order and I'd really like to get it as soon as possible, but we shall see. So you guys can let us know in the comments below what you think. Other information we are getting as far as production goes is, sounds like Tesla is sending Shanghai workers to California for factory boost. So we've got, of course, Shanghai producing insane amounts of vehicles over there. They produce faster than any of the factories at the moment. And we know that Fremont is the original factory. They didn't have a brand new layout. They adopted an old factory from Toyota, so they're trying to revamp that. So as they're doing that, they're trying to squeeze out as much production as possible. So what's the best way to do that? Well, let's take some of the people who are from our China factory that is producing the most vehicles and bring them over to Fremont and see what we can do to boost that production. So it looks like they're bringing them over there to boost production even more. So we'll see when this is all going to transpire and how quickly that's going to make any changes over there. And we'll see what production starts to look like by the end of the year. And later this week, we should be getting some numbers coming out of China as far as sales go. And of course, out of the Q3 numbers, we saw there was a big discrepancy between production and deliveries. So we'll see if those deliveries have landed this month, and we'll find out that information hopefully this week. And we'll be able to say, hey, these are the numbers that we're looking at out of China. And then we can kind of extrapolate some more information going on to the later parts of this year and the quarter. And then we've got Sawyer Merritt tweeting out a report from Reuters saying that Toyota on Tuesday posted a worse than expected 25% drop in quarterly profit, as soaring parts and materials costs outweighed and a boost from the sliding yen, and cut its annual output target by 500,000 units to 9.2 million from 9.7. So, of course, Toyota is still one of the leaders in the world, as Toyota and VW are leading the world when it comes to total units sold. So it's not like Tesla's going to catch them right away, but this is a sign of them sliding down. Now, one wonderful point to look at here when it comes to profitability and sales of vehicles is just that. What is the company making for profits? We've already seen that Tesla is making more money in profits than GM is, and GM is selling significantly more vehicles. So let's take a look and see what Toyota's profits look like based upon how many vehicles they sell. And so, well, when it comes to profits, we've got Darren Young out here pointing out that Tesla made $3.7 billion in operating profit. Meanwhile, Toyota made $3.8 billion. So sure, they made a little bit more, but that means that they had to sell 6.5 times more vehicles than Tesla did in order to make the same amount of operating profit. That is significant. And someone pointed out the fact that Toyota does sell their vehicles, and the majority of them are $25,000 vehicles or lower. So that means that they're usually going to bring in lower margins. Well, that's great, but Tesla's vehicles are maybe twice the price on average than that $25,000 vehicle, but they're making 6.5 times the profit. That is significantly different. And when Tesla does come out with their lower priced vehicle as well, they're going to most likely be selling that for at least a 25 to 30% margin also. So there is going to be no excuse for Toyota in the future. They're already well behind this curve. They don't have any EVs that are coming out. They've got the Prius. That's a hybrid. That doesn't count. So we are going to be seeing a massive shift coming in the future. And let's see if Toyota can hang on. You guys can let us know in the comments if you think that they are. I don't know. They've got to make some massive changes. They are one of the largest in the world, but sometimes the bigger you are, the harder you fall. And the last thing I wanted to point out today, seeing as we're going to be getting the interest rates going up tomorrow, is, well, how is the stock market traded every single time we have seen the interest rates go up? Well, here we go. And so here it is. So as soon as we get the interest rates coming out, which is 2 o'clock Eastern time, which I apologize this morning, I said it was 2:30. So we will get the information coming out at 2 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. That comes out, we see the stock market tank. As soon as Jerome Powell starts speaking, the stock market goes up again. This is March. This is May. Here is June. And here is July. So July was a little uglier, but we did end up going up afterwards anyway. So we will see if tomorrow this plays out the exact same way. Maybe we end up getting the interest rate coming out at 2 o'clock and we come down, Jerome Powell speaks, and we go up. I don't know. Again, I think if we have the 75 basis point hike priced in, that may be how it plays out. If we end up getting a 50 basis point hike, we may not see that drop initially. We may see a run up afterwards. So again, we'll have that playing out tomorrow. I think that is going to be the big news that we get this week. We aren't going to have anything specific when it comes to Tesla or even Twitter. I think Twitter was last week's news, we'll call it. But I think that we are going to be getting something more important tomorrow that's going to move the market one way or the other, and that's going to be the interest rates. So we'll see how that plays out. And then again, I think that maybe part of it's going to be playing into the fact that we have elections coming up the week after. And then 2 days after the elections, we are going to be getting the CPI data. So a lot of stuff going on over the next couple of weeks to finally get past a lot of this macro blanket stuff. Then after that, I think we can kind of cool off when it comes to just noise in the market. We'll see what happens after that. Maybe at that point, we'll be able to get some news coming out of Tesla specifically, like with some Gigafactory openings, the Cybertruck page that can be opening up for ordering. A lot of different things could be coming out when it comes to Tesla specific news. And so when we're looking at the stock price in particular, this morning we saw a nice little run up. We had NIO coming in with beating year over year numbers by 174%. The entire market was looking relatively good early. So I think that was an extra boost for Tesla. We got up over $237, and then the entire market ended up trailing off as the day went on. Again, Tesla did outperform. We did get some great news coming in from a New York State teacher retirement fund saying that they had invested a large sum of shares of Tesla at the $232 level. So again, these are institutions that are coming in with the big money. This is the big money that we talk about that's going to create a solid foundation for the stock price going forward. The more institutions that come in, they're not swing traders. They're not going to be buying and selling on a regular basis like many retail traders do. They're not playing options. If they're going to be buying a stock, they're going to be doing so for a long-term basis. So they're going to be buying at this price, and they will sit in and hold at that. So that means that there's going to be one less seller that is going to be out there with a whole bunch of shares. So that just is creating a good support level for us. And again, that is at that $232 level. That is that 233 range that we are looking at a resistance right now. So if we can break over that, that is now going to become a stronger support for us as we break past it. And the last piece of news that I noticed today as I was watching the local news was the fact that new car prices are coming down. So we're starting to see a drop in new car prices. Obviously, we've seen this over in China. We are most likely going to be seeing that here in the US. So again, even if ICE vehicles are coming down in price, EVs won't be far behind. Don't forget, we have the EV tax credit coming out next year. So if ICE vehicles do end up coming down in price, Tesla has the pricing power to come down on price as well to match that. Then we'll also get that $75 EV tax credit to go on top of it to allow them to have even better pricing power to compete with any ICE vehicles that are at that lower range. So we're coming into other competition where other vehicle manufacturers don't have that pricing power. This is going to be detrimental to their EV business because they're going to be having to squeeze even more profits out of their ICE vehicles just to make up for the lack of profits in their EVs. This is a very difficult battle that legacy automotive makers are going to have to face that Tesla and other startups do not. The startups, on the other hand, are going to have to face the battle of the fact that their EVs aren't profitable yet either, and they don't have ICE to fall back on. So this is going to be an even bigger issue for them. So this is going to be very difficult going through this valley of death for the next couple of years to see who is going to survive and who is not. So overall, again, I am very excited to see this mass production coming for the Cybertruck next year. Cannot wait to get this ordering page coming up. I've got lots of plans already in the works. My mind is moving in 20 different directions trying to figure out what I want to do with my life, especially when it comes to the Cybertruck, or maybe the Cyber van's going to get revealed with an order page. Who knows what's going to happen? All I know is that I am excited to get any one of these vehicles very soon, hopefully within the next year. I can't wait to see what this next year is going to bring us. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat. That link is down in the description. And I would like to welcome our two newest patrons to the channel. We have BB and Daniel Rainey. Thank you guys both for your support. If you guys would like to support the channel any further as well, we do have that Patreon. That link is down in the description. And we also have a membership program. I'll be sharing a lot of things down there with you guys, like all of my price targets through 2032, all of my production and delivery forecasts, my valuation model, and all of my income, investment, and expenses as well to show you guys what I am doing to invest in the stock myself. Thank you all so much. Have a great one.